Hi folks, Steven here. So this is going to be yet another Pokemon Go Community Day recap. Today was Gible Community Day, the Dragon type evolution line from Generation 4 Diamond and Pearl. I kind of do that generation decently often, so I don't think it's just the fact that obviously the new remakes and the Arceus game are coming. I think there's a bit of a broader thing to that. But as usual, I was finally able to go out somewhere in the Madison area and take part in it away from home today. And I've got a presentation. We're also going to go over some feedback, recent videos, and a few other things. All right, well, let's see here. Yes. All right. So, just to clarify a few things, back in April, I got second dose of the vaccine. So last month and this month, I've finally been able to go up to various places in Madison. I always do try to observe the regulations of wherever I go, and in regards to masking and stuff like that. So I always try and just to clear there. Also made some extra preparations today because, well, you'll see in a moment. Alright, that was a bit of a factor today. Last month on May 5th, we had a high of 61, normally is 69. Low is 52, normal is 47. Average wind speed was 7.5 miles per hour. So I don't have the weather for today yet, but the weather for yesterday was more or less the same. Yesterday we had a high of 92, which tied a record here in Madison. Normal is 76, by the way, for early June. Low yesterday was 69, normal is 54, and the average wind speed was 7.4 miles per hour. Weather today very similar to this. Obviously well above normal, not certainly unheard of to have temperatures in the 90s. Low 90s in June, but still very much at or near record levels. All this data, of course, comes from the National Weather Service. So you may be wondering, well, gee, where did I go today then? Yes, this is the Oldbrick Botanical Gardens. So this is not sure what you call it. There's a park there, right on one of the lakes, which might have helped a little bit. And there's also a sort of a community gardening area. It's probably not quite the right way to put it. It is, I believe, privately maintained and stuff. But you can see they're outside of their building here. Basically, I drove over to the east side, and despite a little misdirection from the Maps app, I was able to get there in time for the start. But you can see the front entrance here. Now over on the left, that pyramid-looking thing actually encloses basically a large greenhouse that contains a jungle habitat for plants. As far as the history of this place, I'm not sure exactly how long it's been around. I went there a number of times back in the 90s with my mom. She's got a bit of a gardening spirit in her, and she would often enter actually the annual Rose Show. That would be at Oldbrick Botanical Gardens. But this is basically one of the big garden-type plant places in terms of that you can go to in the Madison area. One of the other ones that's big is the UW Arboretum, which I'll probably visit in a future community day. Just to give you an idea of what the inside of it looks like, the only place you really have to pay for admission is that jungle area right there. But you can see a pretty good view in this not quite perfect panorama that I took while I was there. This shows a decent chunk of it, although there is a lot to it that you can't see from here either. It's a pretty good footprint there, I have to say. But you can see they've got some open areas, they've got a variety of plants there, and all sorts of things like that. So, just to give you an idea of what this looks like a little bit closer up, and in the Pokemon Go app, you can see there that there's a lot of little winding paths here. They mapped it out decently well. Some of the smaller unpaved paths or unbricked paths aren't listed on there, but you can see there's a lot there. It's all, on foot type stuff. You can also see there are a couple of gyms there in the Oldbrick Botanical Gardens in the outside area. So pretty good right here. And then over the right, I have a number of these. They are, of course, a lot of different flowers. The place is technically opened all but like 3 days of the year, but of course, the outside stuff, that's like a May to September type of deal for the most part. So a lot of different species of plants out there. Now, if you're wondering who it's named after, because it definitely does sound like a name, doesn't it? Michael Oldbrick was born in 1881, died in 1929. You may notice that even for someone born in the late 1800s, that is kind of a short lifespan. There's a reason for that I don't really want to go over at the moment. You can see there's this plaque, and he actually was kind of involved in some politics and business stuff, but he is, and the UW here in Madison as well, but he is sort of responsible for the founding of the Oldbrick Botanical Gardens and also the UW Arboretum. He had a part in both of those, and you can see obviously this place is named after him, and there's a little plaque there that has a Pokestop on it. Alright, but for the actual community day, we have Gibbel. Like I said, Gibbel is this, it's got a big head, because that's pretty much its entire body other than its arms and legs. It's kind of interesting in terms of proportions. But this was, as usual, a 6-hour community day from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. local time. You get your usual stuff, your snapshots, lots of Gibbel in the wild, incense, lures last longer as well. One of the big things, though, 3 times the usual catch XP, which is a big bonus that I hope a lot of you were able to make some very good use of. Here's the ticket in the shop. This is technically optional, but it does add some additional perks and stuff that you can get there. 99 cents, I think, is a pretty good price for that. Some things is the usual community day box in the shop, and also an event box, which is kind of interesting, where you can buy Pokemon storage. I'm not sure how much it normally costs. It might be a 2 for the price of 1 type of deal there. I wasn't super desperate or anything, so I didn't partake of those. Although I did get the 30 Ultra Balls that they were offering, that they sometimes do on this. Alright, well here's Professor Willow. He's going to give us the lowdown on this month's sort of pseudo-story. So it turns out he stumbled upon a nest of Gible, the land shark Pokemon. So sometimes he was nearly an unfortunate victim, I guess, of its teeth. I think this... I'm not sure exactly what to say there. He looks pretty happy for someone who just had that. You'd think he'd be a little more... You'd think his facial expression would be a little different there. In any case, the first round of tasks, pretty much what you would expect. You gotta power up some Pokemon, catch some Gible, and make some nice throws. You get the usual benefits from that. Now, we'll do what we usually do here. We compare the regular and shiny versions of the Pokemon. You notice these are some AR snapshots that I took here. Sorry, the one on the left has a blurry background. That was just the time where I took it. I decided it needed to do that. But you can sort of see the main differences here. That shiny Gible on the right has a deeper blue skin tone. And its lower side of its mouth is much lighter. So, I'm not sure if they're trying to go with the shark thing there, and stuff like that. It's about what they have with that. So, I kind of like it. It's definitely noticeable. Certainly, obviously, side by side, it makes it easier, but it's not as subtle as some other ones that we've seen. Alright, well, during that first one, I ran into a guy, I think his name is Brady. He was actually live streaming a lot of his stuff in there. And apparently, and one of the gyms Gardens spawned a mega low raid, and I tried to get in there and invite folks. We had like 3 people, then at the last moment, 2 of them kind of backed out, which I can't totally blame. 3 is pretty borderline, but with some help from Brady over there, we were able to get a group of 7 to take on Mega Lopunny shortly thereafter, and we actually did manage to pull that one off. I'm pretty sure I had a Lopunny before, a regular one, probably because they put like Baneri out en masse every Easter or whatever it is. So you see that there. Now you may notice there I am level 33. Well, first of all, I did manage to catch the Lopunny and get some Mega Energy for myself, which is always nice. But I also was very close to leveling up, and that put me over the top there. I went from level 33 to level 34. So one of my goals is to make level 40 before I turn 40. So making some good progress, and actually got a ton of experience today on that, but seeing the numbers roll over like is always a lot of fun. Alright, well in the meantime I managed to sort of complete the first round task, and at least the second one. Gible seems to love warm places. Well, I'm sure it loved the day here in Madison, I can tell you that much. Like I said, we got to a high temperature that was pretty close to what we did the day before. So, you know, nothing I haven't experienced before temperature-wise, but definitely above average. But second round tasks are about what you expect. You gotta catch some more Gible, train some Pokemon, and evolve some Gible. As for which ones I wanted to evolve, I had some existing ones that were actually pretty good here. You can see that first one there has full stats in 2 categories and about 2.5 in the other one. Other ones are pretty good. These were the ones I chose to evolve to complete that task. 25 candy each. Interestingly, like I said, a lot of this stuff I know comes from like the Pokédex entries. That's kind of one reason some of the newer Pokemon that they've done, like when they did Snipe, they don't have as much to pull from as they do here. So you have a little fact about the Gible or the Gabite line or whatever. It emits ultrasonic waves from the protrusions on either side of its head to probe pitch-dark caves. If I remember correctly, in Diamond and Pearl, you find Gible in a very deep cave. I think it's where you find one of the 2v2 companion type things that you go through in there. But you can kind of see the third set of tasks. First of all, you gotta make some great curveball throws. Gotta evolve a Gabite, and you gotta transfer some more Pokemon, get some stuff down there. Some experience, a rocket radar, and some Ultra Balls. So evolving at this point was not too difficult. I had plenty of candy built up. I actually got a fair number of Garchomp evolved during this event. Because of, I kind of went hog wild on there. But yeah, Garchomp, new Pokemon for me as well, so I also got that one. But you get the Earth Power move. It's one of those 2 moves is the one you can't get normally. So, kind of surprising it wouldn't learn Earth Power, but I guess it's more on the physical side usually, because it's stuff like that. And you can see this is definitely one I caught during today's session. There. So yeah, we also get a wrap-up from Professor here. Garchomp, the mock Pokemon. I find that kind of interesting to bring up. First, there was that news story earlier this week that one of the U.S. airlines is ordering a bunch of supersonic aircraft it hopes to put in service towards the end of the decade. We'll see what happens there. But like I said, more stuff from the Pokédex entries. And then I did not take a screenshot of the 4th screen, which is just a bunch of bonuses anyway. One of those let me catch another Gible, which, very lucky there, I managed to get perfect stats on that. Full attack, full defense, and full HP. You can bet I fully evolved that one, by the way. So that's a good one to get there. But we're still not done. So I managed to stick around. But part of that was just the triple experience thing. Makes it really attractive to keep on getting more stuff there. And this is back one of the gyms. I think this is when I had the Mega Lopunny fight at. Later spawned a level 5 raid Regice. which, sorry to keep making temperature jokes, but man, I could... Reg Ice seems like a good thing for today. So I ran into Brady again, and we not only got ourselves to go through that, but yeah, we managed to invitations, and I guess a few other people who were probably at the gardens for that. I think we got a full complement of 20 people there, which was really, really good. I kind of joke, yeah, that Reg Ice won't know what hit it. Because I often don't get, that great of luck with this. But this time, ooh yeah, we were able to take that down quickly. And I was actually able to catch that. It's my second Reg Ice. I have another one. Its stats aren't... The original one stats weren't so good. This new one is a little better, so that's helpful. Alright, another thing I like to do now that I can go out of the house again. Notable stops and gyms whenever I do one of these things. So, there are two gyms there. The other gym is the Thai Pavilion and, unfortunately, I think it might be Gate. Unfortunately, I don't have the full name there. But it's a very nice structure that they've built there. It's kind of common to see some sort of Asian-themed area or structure inside one of these gardens. Excuse me. But this is a pretty nice one, and... nice detail and all that stuff there. You can see, obviously, a faraway picture for the Pokestop, and then sort of a side-angle view there. So, not technically Japanese, but it does look quite nice. Powerful symbols, by the way, is interesting. Pokestop nearby that at the little placard that describes what some of the symbolism is in there. All right. Overall, the writing, I wouldn't say it was that. It certainly was. They had pulled some decent facts from the Pokédex entries, what they usually do. But just being able to go somewhere and do something was really nice. Let's see, 3 times catch XP, EXP is great. Yes, it is. So the way this works, in case you, for some reason, haven't been taking advantage of it, they've had this earlier last month in regards to the some of the special stuff they've done there. But it multiplies, first of all, base catch, which is always 100 XP, now it's always 300, plus any bonuses you get for a nice, great, or excellent throw, or if you use a curveball to catch the Pokemon. It does have to be the one, to get the XP bonus, it does have to be the one where the Pokemon is actually caught to count for that. I think it also multiplies the new Pokemon bonus if you're catching a new Pokemon, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. I wish I had waited a little bit to catch my first Pokemon. I believe it does actually multiply that as well. So you can get a ton of stuff. I got a ton of experience anyway. I even got a fair number of excellent catches, which is really nice because the bonus for that is 1,000 normally, so 3x is 3,000. And considering I've got 1.25 million to level 35, kind of need all the help I get. I got over 150,000 experience today. Pretty proud of that. And of course, thanks to Brady. I guess I should mention, I usually mention the curveball throws and how easy or difficult those are. Those weren't really that difficult because Gible is very close to you when you try and catch it, but it's still big enough that it has a pretty decent, great circle size. Really, the hard part about catching all of that is that those Gibles snap at you like crazy, it seems. I used a lot of Nanab berries to calm them down to make them easier in certain cases. So that was the real hard part about catching it. But overall, had a lot of fun. Alright, before we move on to some other things, I did want to show a few photos. Here are some... I'm unfortunately not a botanist. I tried to find, I don't know if these are it or if there's something else, tried to find wood violets, which I do know for a fact are the state flower of Wisconsin. These are purple. I don't know if they're actually the flower I'm looking for, though. But they could be. If anyone does know that off the top of my head, I won't take it too personally if you tell me one way or the other. Now this is, they have a variety of things. Really, these pictures only show kind of a fraction of what's there in the outdoor portion of the gardens. There's a lot I could have shown here, but these branches remind me of something from, shall we say, a recently released Pokemon side game. If you've played through that game, you know what it is, but it definitely reminded me of that, and that's maybe why I ended up taking a picture of it. And then this is one of many water-based things that they have some pools of water. They have some like places where it sort of falls down blocks and stuff. So as this is pretty typical for gardens, but I think they do a nice job there. All right, so let's talk about some other things. So last weekend, I put out an unboxing video, my first one in a very long time, of, just happen to have it here, yes, the Telepizza Pokemon Promo CD. So we got a couple comments. This is a CD that was done as a promotional item in, I believe, Mexico back in 99, 2000, somewhere in there. Not sure exactly how that all came out, but it does appear to be an official product. So anyway, we have DDD033, and he talks about sort of the history of the Spanish equivalent of Gotta Catch 'Em All, Atropelos Ya. I have no idea how close I did that. But he did say I did get the track names on the back, the correct English equivalent names on there for the Pokemon theme, what kind of Pokemon are you, and the Pokemon dance mix on there. Also got another one from, let's see, Nelsatop9X. I'm not sure if I said that quite right. He sort of points out that sometime around 2017, they sort of merged these. There were actually, prior to that, two different Spanish equivalents to Gotta Catch 'Em All, depending on whether you were in like Latin America or if you were in, say, Spain. And around 2017, they merged them to use, let's see, Hatse con Todos, which I believe is the actual Spanish one from Europe. Which honestly seems a bit odd. I would assume there's more Spanish-speaking people in Latin America than there are in the country of Spain. But, yeah, you know. I don't want to, well, I should say, I do not want to belittle that too much, but it's not dissimilar to some of the stuff we've had, like with Anne talking about how there used to be a separate Canadian-French dub that was slightly different and done separately from the French dub. And sometimes those things kind of get lost, so we've seen this happen kind of a couple times. Like I said, I did not mean to belittle that. Yeah. And he also has more information than you ever probably wanted to know about Telepizza. Let's see. Apparently, they also are also tied in with a fried chicken chain, sort of, I guess, Latin America's answer to KFC. And he says some of it is actually pretty good there. So if I'm ever in the country, or if you ever are, I guess that gives you something else to get. But yeah, if you have any comments on any of our unboxings, to fill in details or stuff like that, we always appreciate that, especially when we get stuff from folks outside of the normal Anglosphere. And this is, say, English-speaking countries. We always really appreciate that. All right, couple more things to let's see. Pokecasters Network. I don't have it yet, but I'll get audio on Pokemon Channel from hopefully relatively soon. By the way, and watching this, I hope you took notes on those previous slides we're talking about them during our next discussion. But there are some other podcasts in the network that put out episodes recently. Let's see. Pokecasters, Crustacean Nation. So I assume they're talking about stuff like Krabby and Gible and stuff like that. Let's see. Not a Scratch. I've actually put out a lot of episodes on their feed. I don't know if they had an editing backlog or something like that, but if you look in their feed, there's a bunch of stuff from like the last week or so as far as dates. I'm guessing they were recorded over a period of time and then just released recently, but that's kind of interesting. And another one there, Welcome to the World of Pokemon, episode 45, Vileplume. Fair notice that these are explicit, but let's see here. Ah, yes. One more thing I want to put in here. So you may remember I've been working on that Pokemon trading card game for GameBoy Randomizer. Well, just yesterday I put out a couple new features. Been working on them for a little bit, but I finally put them out into the GitHub branch. In any case, we've got the ability to show the seed or config in the intro. It replaces the first couple lines in the intro when you start the game. That's kind of just for some verification purposes and stuff like that. The actual functional one you can try if you dare is that I added the ability to randomize the head-tails probability within the game. Normally it's 50-50, or at least it should be in the long run. And I changed the logic so that randomly picks a number between about 33% and 67%, so between 1/3 and 2/3, as the heads-tails probability. So you can get some results that are a fair bit off one way or the other. So it does, once you sort of figure out where on the spectrum you are, it does kind of change your strategy a little bit, because it, like, are you ever going to go first? How often do you think you're going to go first, and stuff like that? And do you use it, attacks or cards that have flip or not, once you start to realize which side of the spectrum you might be on. I did try actually going all the way to 25 and 75%, but especially on the 25% heads chance or thereabouts, in my testing, I found things are kind of aggravating after a while with stuff like smokescreen and sand attack and stuff like that. But it is a fun feature, kind of interesting. It does change up the game a fair bit, especially in combination with some of the other flags. All right, well that is... All right, so we did get a message on Twitter. Little was up from there. Well, right back at you there. But I think that is going to sort of cover our stuff there. But if you have any comments, go ahead and put those out there. I don't know when and I will be doing our discussion on Pokemon Troze / add a song into a Pokemon movie. I did prep together my stuff for the second part of that, as well as listen to some Troze music. Just in case you're curious, what I am planning on doing is I've edited together a version of the dock scene, the first part of the dock scene, where it says, Kingler, save your energy, chill out, Raticate, stuff like that, to add in, making my way any way that I can. I made 2 variants. I'm not going to publish this probably anywhere just because of copyright stuff, but I'll try to keep it on my phone. If you see me at a convention sometime in the future, I'll try and show it to you. But that was mine there. I haven't heard back from Anne what her choice is going to be. She had some ideas, but we're hoping to get to that maybe as soon as next weekend. We'll see how that one works out. But until then, thanks for watching.